Hello, welcome to the Manic Pixie Dream Vlog. I'm your host, Caroline Georges, and welcome. So today I wanted to talk about, being harassed in public or just unwelcome advances, that kind of thing. So I guess my biggest problem that I'm facing right now with being harassed in public is my neighbor, my German neighbor. He's very elderly. He's like in his he's old. He's probably in his 80s and 90s. And whenever I see this man in the lobby, it's just I have to run. Like I have to get before he can get to me. He will not let me go meet him. I cannot see this man in public without him touching me. I cannot see this man in public without him commenting on how I look. And he's very aggressive. And I put up with it because I'm empathetic of elderly people. And, I didn't really have grandparents, but, I didn't really have grandfathers. But I had, a step grandparent who, was always really good to me. And, he would always get me really expensive Christmas presents and birthday presents and stuff. And even though I was not related to him and stuff, he was always just very... Anyways, so the last time I saw him, was when I was visiting my mother, and this was when he was really old, and he was really he was on his last legs, and he was and he walked in on me in the shower. And saw me naked, and I was really embarrassed, and then when I said goodbye, when I was leaving, later on, I was kind of cold to him, and I was sort of awkward towards him, and I think he felt embarrassed that he did that, and I think he felt bad that he did that, and then he died. And that was the last time I ever saw him. And this man who was always really good to me, that was our last interaction. And so I don't know. This old man, it's like that harasses me in the lobby of my building and won't fucking leave me alone. And just, oh my God. And it's such an ordeal every time I see him. And it's just like, oh my God, like, I'm sorry. But it's like, what if I do not want this man to die with the last thing I do is to tell him to leave me the fuck alone, So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm sort of in between a rock and a hard place. But this week there was some success. This woman earlier on in the week, she told him to leave me alone. This little old lady, or this 50-year-old woman who's waiting in the lobby, I think. I went into the lobby and she was there, and the old man started flicking his tongue at me, like that. Sorry, I didn't even want to. It's gross. He was doing that at me, and giving me compliments. To be fair, this man. I honestly I remember the first time I saw this man speak to another man, and he was completely normal. Up until that moment, I literally thought this man's dementia made it so he could only say pickup lines, that he could only say the only things he knew how to say were to hit on women. I literally believed that. And then I saw him talking to another man, and he was totally normal. See, there is male privilege. There is male privilege. Which, I've exploited female privilege to the point where I'm driving on fumes. So, I will not, say there's not some equality there with male and female privilege. But anyways, separate but equal. I don't think men have to worry about getting harassed on the street. I don't think that's something men have to worry about as much. And it's really scary being harassed on the street. And I wish men cared more, and I wish men thought about things that they can do when a situation like that arises, in ways to make women feel safe in public when they're being harassed. Because I tell you what, it's really scary. So, but anyways, going back to that old woman, the old woman told the old man to leave me alone, and he's ever since then, all this week, he's left me alone. He hasn't done anything. And I just think, I just really appreciate that woman. I'm really grateful for that woman, that she did something. And there's this another guy in my building who I am not kind to. This guy is just, he's so persistent of all of the women that live in this building. I think this guy is a fucking pervert. He's a professor. So, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just like, it's cliches are cliches because they're common. A lot of people become professors. A lot of people become priests. A lot of people become teachers, social workers, police officers because they're predatory people and they want to take advantage of people. A lot of people do that. So this man was so friendly with me. Like he would just come bounding across the room to like come up and talk to me. It was too much. It was just too much. I didn't appreciate it. And I let him know that. I let him know that. I was like, hey, look, I just don't talk to me. And he was just like, well, why not? You know, and it's just like, it was like, because I don't want you to. You know what? I'm sorry. You don't feel right to me, and I just don't want you to talk to me. That should be enough for you. I'm sorry. I don't owe you anything. Yeah, this guy isn't like hitting on me. He's not grabbing me. He's not, he never kissed my neck once in the lobby. That's something that happened. It just bothered me. His attentions bothered me. And so I let the management know. They told him to leave me alone and to, you know, not take it personally. But then he did something. He's recently, or not recently, but a couple weeks ago, he talked to me again. And he knew my name. It was not in the building. It was outside the building. I saw him on the street going to the coffee shop, and he knew my name. And he said, "Hi, Caroline." And I was like, and I stopped and I looked at him. I was like, "How do you know my name? How do you know my name? I never told you my name." And he was just, it was just, you know, I was nasty to him. I was mean to him. I wasn't sweet to him. I was just, you know, I let him have it. It's too much. You know, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I just don't fucking talk to me, you know? And I feel bad. I do. Like, I feel super guilty. I don't want to be mean. I don't like being mean. You know, the other day, I was walking home, and this guy followed me for 2 blocks in his car, trying to pick me up. Like, you know, it was like the No Scrubs song. You know what I mean? He was he was shouting out the window, you know, at me, trying to get me to get into his car. And that made me really uncomfortable, especially that he was following me. I mean, if he had just stopped, pulled over, asked me if I wanted to ride, drove off, and left me alone, that would have been one thing. But this guy was fucking following me. And so finally, I just got fed up. I stopped. I started screaming at him, "Fuck off, dude. Leave me alone. Stop following me." I was giving him the finger. I was being super nasty. And then he drives off, and I look up, and there, lo and behold, there's a woman and her 2 kids with her, and they're looking at me. And you know, it's just like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Leave me alone. Don't make me, like, give the finger to you in public in front of, like, a woman and her children. You know, don't do that to me. You know, and this guy, I of course his intentions were bad, but it's just like, I mean, a lot of people would be like, oh, well, he was just trying to offer you a ride, what's the big deal and stuff. I mean, would you ever tell your daughter or your sister or your girlfriend or your mother to get into a car with a stranger? You know? Bad intentions. And it's just, I wonder what men can do in these situations to make things a little easier for women. Do men feel like they owe us that? Do men feel like they owe us anything in these situations? Because I'll tell you what, I have been harassed in public, and sometimes it has gotten really crazy. Like, it was, like, way too much, you know? And I wish men knew to step in and do something. But, I was at a show, and one of the comics in the lineup, he's very nice. He's very, very nice. He's a very nice person. And but I don't like him, and I don't want to date him. And so I had a string, I was wearing a crop top, and there was a string sticking out in the back of my crop top. And he was like, "Oh, you have a string sticking out at the back of your crop top." And he pulled out the string. And I let him. I held up my hair, and I leaned forward, and I let him take the string off for me, I let him do what he said he wanted to do, and it was like, and he touched my skin, and I don't know, it's not worth a fight. It's not worth a fucking fight, like, yeah, maybe it's just like, dude, like, don't touch me, it's just, I'm sorry, not worth it to me, I'd rather, that's just, I'd rather be pleasant, let a guy encroach a little bit on my boundaries and be nice than to be a total bitch for a guy trying to take a string off from my crop top, But at the same time, if this guy were cute and if I were into him and he did that, I would have thought that would be pretty fucking sexy, if he did that and I was into him. So it's like, he has a right to try, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, I'm not into him and stuff, but he has kind of a right to try, if I was into him, I would have liked it, dating and courtship and, pursuing people and stuff, it's total bumper cars, and it's just like, you hear stories about men not knowing how to pursue women anymore, being nervous about how they're, approaching women these days and stuff. And it's like, you are not the man harassing women on the street. If you're not the man who's trying to pick up a girl on the street with his car and just following her for 2 blocks, that's not you, then don't worry about it. You're fine. Do what you need to do. It's bumper cars. Be appreciative of people's boundaries, and just, common sense, and that you're fine. Just go for it. People will be nice and people will be understanding, I love compliments. I love getting hit on. I totally take it as a compliment, I think it's like, wow, this guy is really into me. This guy really thinks I'm really pretty cool, even if I'm not interested in him, I'll always appreciate it for what, it means to him, what I mean, and what I mean to him. I'll appreciate that I mean something to him, that he's hitting on me. Even if it's just my appearance, even if it's just the way I look, that's still something that means something to him. And if he's hitting on me and giving me appreciation for that, then I should be grateful. And I am. But sometimes I wish I knew somebody liked me entirely because of my personality, and I think that is, for me, that is asking too much of the world. So anyways, yeah, that's just what I had to say, or that's just my thoughts on things, I guess. Some experience I've had over the past couple of weeks, and just wanted to share. And by the way, I've been getting a couple of comments. People don't know I'm not being serious. I'm talking about serious issues, and I'm talking about my life, and I'm being honest, and I'm being open about my thoughts and feelings on things, for sure. But at the same time, I am being fascistic. I am being hyperbolic. I am, expressing myself with my sense of humor and joking around. And so I just want to be clear. I'm not a psychopath. I'm just joking around. I'm just being silly. And I'm not, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not crazy. But I'm joking around, and I'm being fun, and I'm being funny, and I'm having fun. And so I would just, and if you like that, and if you think that's fun, and you think that you like what my message and what I have to say, and just and my point of view on things and stuff, and you appreciate my sense of humor, then please share my videos, and please like and subscribe and comment on my videos. That all really helps me. So and then also share them as much as you can, if you can. All right, have a lovely day. Bye.